everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video I thought we could do a mid-year tag like that's been around on YouTube for quite some time because it is July, so I'm a bit late to the trend. But I have the questions on my iPad and I've picked out some books, so let's get into it. I actually am on my chair today and it is a bit creaky, so if you can hear that, apologies. And I think it's going to thunder and I've got the window open, so if you hear that, I am sorry. I have got the questions just from everyone else's videos, like Laura, Emma, Larry. Like I've just copied and pasted them. I have deleted some and then reworded some. So the first one I've got is my most anticipated read released this year. Does that even make sense? But anyway, it's Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. I was waiting for this year for that felt like forever, and it did not disappoint. I was so nervous to read this because obviously Boys of Tommen community is like really wanting every single book for every single book couple constantly and immediately, and I feel like Chloe Walsh did deliver on this one. I rated it 5 stars. It were amazing. I feel like I've spoken about this a lot on my channel anyway, so I won't go into it, but this, amazing, most anticipated, and I want the rest. I do want the rest, but patience is a virtue. Okay, so the second question is worst book I've read this year, and that's without a doubt Under the Oak Tree by Suji Kim. Again, I've said this on my channel before, but this was the worst book I've ever read. It was third person, so it's not even like we're inside the mind of the characters. It's the author writing sexist, sexual abuse, no plot, no real story apart from a woman having to serve a man in more ways than one. So I hated this. I rated it 1 star and it's the worst book I've ever read. Okay, so the next question is the best sequel I've read this year, and that goes to The Sins of Silas by Kylie Snow. This is basically, it's a follow-on from the first book, but we get so much more. We get a quest, we get relationships that we don't see coming, and we get a lot more spice, just a lot more of the story that we want, and Kylie Snow delivered. We got a lot more trauma, we just get a lot more, so I feel like this is a very good sequel to pick. We get heartbreak, we get love, we get betrayal, we just get everything in this book, and it was a very, very good sequel. Okay, so the next question is a release you haven't read yet but want to, and that is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I've heard incredible things about this. I've heard like amazing stuff about the way she writes, so I am really intrigued to read this. All I know is that it's about 3 toxic lesbian vampires, and you sold me at that. So I have got the Illumicrate version coming and that is stunning, so I'm definitely hands-on ready to read that. And then the most anticipated release for the second half of the year for me is Bonds of Hercules. I loved the first one. It was Greek mythology. It was Alexis, who has been chosen to kind of compete in this, what's it called, like gladiator thing, god, I can't remember, to become a god, but she's got mentors and then she's got professors, and I'm just really excited to see where it's going to go. And obviously Jasmine Rass's writing is incredible, great in the monologue. Like I'm just so excited to get back into that world, and I'm going to reread The Blood of Hercules before Bonds comes out in October, so that is something that I'm really looking forward to. Okay, the next question is a book that made you cry, and that's the easiest book ever, and that is Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. This wrecked me on all different levels. I just was not expecting the trauma and the horrific things to happen in this book. I should have expected it though, because it is Chloe Walsh and Boys of Tommen, and that is just full of heartbreaking things and topics. But I did cry to this book, and I'll think about it forever. I don't think I'll ever be able to do a reread because it's that just heartbreaking and disgusting and everything in between. But this was incredible but heartbreaking. And then the other book that made me absolutely sob was The Fabric of Our Souls. The ending to this book was heartbreaking. I just did not see it coming. It was like, I just shaking with sobs. But this book as a whole did surprise me, like the plot and the way where it went. I just was flabbergasted. It's my first book by K.M. Morinova, and it won't be the last. Okay, so the opposite of that last question, and that is a book that made you happy, and that is Tusk Love. And this was so sweet, wholesome, cute, like just giggling, like just wholesome, but just so happy. It just made me so happy and giggly. But I must admit, it's I'm surprised it came out in summertime, because I can imagine reading this with like a candle, it's raining outside, got a hot drink. Like I don't know, because they're on like an adventure together in like the woods, and they've got to stay in caves, one bedroll, and she's just very sheltered, very innocent, and he's like supposed to be this grumpy man, but he's not for her. And it's just very sweet and very wholesome, and I loved this book. The biggest surprise of the year was The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. I haven't read anything by this author apart from this book, and so I think that's what shocked me so much, because I've heard that the Magnolia Parks series is about like toxic lovers and all that. So this was really, really interesting, really unique as well. Like, we're following a woman who's got a very toxic family and has to go back home. There's like a small subplot of romance, and that's really executed well. And there's an MMC that is in tune emotionally with his feelings, which is also refreshing. And then we've also got Georgia, who's learning to notice certain features in someone's facial expressions and to determine like how they're feeling. But then there's also kind of like a bit of a quest that they've got to go on to try and figure something out. Like, it was just really unique, and I really, really enjoyed it. Like the writing style, some heavy themes in this that were executed like well, and yeah, the most surprising book for this year. Okay, the next question is newest favourite fictional character, and that has got to go to Lanston from A Ballad of Phantoms and Hope. He is also in the first book, The Fabric of Our Souls, but he's kind of like, it's not his point of view in that book, but it is in this one. And honestly, he is like the sweetest man ever. He's been through so much, and he's always putting others before himself, and he's a really like tortured soul, but he tries to do his best. He's just so kind, and I just love him. I want him to be my best friend. And then we've also got Aaron, or Arabella, and she is such a strong FMC. Again, gone through a lot of trauma and just a lot, and she's so resilient and so strong, and I've just got to hand it to her. Like, I feel like I won't be able to handle the things that she's gone through, so I just again want her to be my best friend. She's just so funny, and I just, yeah, love her. The next question is biggest disappointment of this year, and that is The Sirens. I love anything sirens, mermaids, waters, but this just really, really fell short for me. The narrator, for one, because I did listen to this on Audible, she's British, and I know I'm British, but I just could not get into it. Her narration, it was just so jarring and annoying. And I am quite like that, like when it's an American film, for example, and they go to England, like it just cringes me out, and I just can't watch it. But I did really enjoy Mary's narration of this. She's Irish, and that was really immersive, and I liked her storyline because she's from a different era than what the two sisters that we're following that are living in Australia but are British, I think, because obviously the narration was British. Wait, was she supposed to be Australian? Oh, I don't know, but the whole plot of this had a lot of holes in it, and I just didn't enjoy it. I wanted more from it. There was missed opportunities that annoyed me. So yeah, this was a very disappointing read for me. So the next question is my favourite author that's new to me this year, and that again goes to Jasmine Mass. I loved Blood of Hercules that much that I just read everything else that she'd written, and this, 5 stars, easy. We've got a great inner monologue again by the FMC, really funny. There's trauma, there's tension, there's why choose, there's just so much going on, and I absolutely devoured and loved this. Very bingeable, very immersive, and you can just sink your teeth into it. And then I also discovered J. Bree this year, and this is another why choose, but it's very, very character driven for me. Like, I'm staying for the characters. Like, the plot is kind of them following a resistance, like trying to battle a resistance, and there's gods, powers, shadows, tension, trauma. Like, there's a lot going on in this, but you do stay for the characters. Well, I certainly do anyway. I am on the 5th book so far, and I love it. It's so bingeable, and I just love that in a book. Like, when I can binge it and really immerse myself into it, and I don't think about anything other than reading, it's a job well done for me. Okay, so leading on from that question and that author, the next question is favourite fictional book boyfriend, or like character, male character, something, but that is North Draven. I love this man. He's very broody, grumpy in the beginning. He's like the head of the house. He's like a councilman. He's like full on business, but when him and Olinda like have a connection and like that starts to grow, there's a completely different side to him. His like acts of service are impeccable. He like makes her food and plates her a plate. Like, he's just very caring and endearing towards Olinda. The next question is the most beautiful book I've received this year, and I'm just going to quick fire the ones that I've chosen. And the first one is Fairytale. This is the out of print edition. And then we've got Smoke and Scar, but the naked hardcover is just beautiful. Like, I love it. And it was a nice shock as well, because I wasn't expecting that. And then we've got the Illumicrate version of A Treachery of Swans. Again, the hardcover on this is beautiful, if you can see it. And then I've got Rose in Chains, and this is again the Illumicrate version. And yeah, I am very excited to read this also. Okay, so the next question is what books I want to read by the end of the year. And these are kind of like my immediate TBR, I guess. And the first one is The Favourites. I've heard incredible things about this, highly rated. It's about ice skaters and their toxic relationship, which is very bizarre. I feel like that's quite unique, which is nice and refreshing. So I'm excited to read that. I've also got Stormbound, which is a indie published book, and it's based on like Greek mythology, and I picked it up because I love Blood of Hercules, and I kind of just wanted something like that, so I picked that up and I want to read that. I picked Forged in Blood, which is a trilogy that's a why choose vampire, and it looks really, really good. Really bingeable, that kind of stuff, so excited to read that. I've also got Fairytale on this list because I want to read that book. Again, heard amazing things, and it's been on my shelf for quite some time. I also want to read Blood and Betrayals and Reign of Shadows and Findings. Those are the ones that I haven't got on my shelf, but I've definitely want to read. I don't know much about any of them really, but the last series that I've got for this question is The Throne of Glass. I was going to read this at the beginning of the year, but then I went away, and I kind of just, I don't know, it's like staring at me right now. Like, I feel like I need to read it, but I don't know whether to like binge it or like read 2 a month. Like, I don't know how to proceed, because I feel like it might take me forever to read it, and it's just really daunting. But I've heard it's like amazing, so like, I don't know about that one. The next question is books I've rated 5-star this year, and that goes to The Song of Achilles. This book was heartbreaking and devastating and beautifully written, like amazing, immaculate work. The next one is The Blood Traitor. This is the 3rd in the Prison Healer trilogy by Lena and this was really, really good, really easy to read, quite a unique-ish story, great side characters that are really lovable and funny, plot twists, which I would not expect in this series, and overall just a really great fun time. And then we've got The Lies of Lena and the Sins of Silas, both 5 stars. And then obviously we've got The Whole Cruel Shift verse, which I've spoken about in this video. The Conditions of Will, Releasing 10, and The Fabric of Our Souls. All solid 5-star reads. I also want to put The Bonds That Tie in here as well. I mean, the first 3 were 4 stars, the 4th one with 5 stars, but overall it is giving 5-star energy, which is a bit confusing, but I love it. Yep. Okay, so the last question is my 5-star predictions for the rest of the year, and that goes to Glass Girl, which is the same author as Girls in Pieces, and I really enjoyed that book, so I'm kind of thinking that this is also going to be 5 stars. We've got Bonds of Hercules, obviously. Once Upon a Demon's Heart, which is a new release. It comes out on the 31st of July, and that's by K.M. Moronova. Again, don't really know much about this apart from it's got a demigod in it. That's literally all I know. But the artwork is stunning for it, so I'm excited to read that. And then I've also got Metal Slinger and Quicksilver. They're 2 really anticipated reads for me that I feel kind of like I've got FOMO because a lot of people have rated them 5 stars and really enjoyed them. But I do want to get to them by the end of this year. So that is all the questions from the tag. I hope you've enjoyed it, and please let me know if you've got any recommendations or like how many books you've read this year, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!